Hey, this fact blows my mind. Audi has only ever offered 3 rear-wheel drive vehicles in its century-plus history. The spectacular R8 supercar, the e-tron GT luxury sedan, and this, the unlikely Q4 e-tron. The thing is though, Audi's answer to the BMW iX1 and iX2, Volvo EX40, Polestar 4 and Mercedes-Benz EQA is very late because it's been in production since early 2021. That said though, I'm glad they waited because the MY25 Series 2 update might be the best premium EV medium SUV on the market. My name is Byron Mathioudakis for CarsGuide.com.au and I'm here to tell you why. Let's go. The Q4 e-tron is available in 2 shapes. This quite handsome, if conservative, station wagon SUV style, as well as a swoopy coupe SUV that Audi likes to call the Q4 e-tron Sportback. Obviously slotting in between the smaller Q3 and larger Q5, the Q4 e-tron is available in either 45 rear-wheel drive or 55 quattro all-wheel drive guises. Kicking off from $85,000 before on-road costs, the base grade includes a full suite of safety tech, an electronic instrument display, heated front seats, 3-zone climate control, a gesture-controlled power tailgate, and 19-inch alloy wheels. But be prepared to spend a little bit extra on luxuries like contoured sport seats, a head-up display, a powered front passenger seat, driver's side memory, 360-degree view cameras, and privacy glass. Meanwhile, the 55 quattro models from $107,000 include most of these, along with an extra electric motor for all-wheel drive and considerably more muscle, variable ratio steering, matrix LED headlights, dynamic indicators, extra lane assist intervention, and 20-inch alloys. The upshot is that Audi can keep the 45s priced under the luxury car tax. The Q4 e-tron remains competitively priced, equipped and positioned against rival luxury EV SUVs like the EQA and iX1 that are smaller in size and in battery capacity. Check out my written review at carsguide.com.au to find out more. So, why the delay getting the Q4 e-tron to Australia? Especially when the brand has offered the larger and much more expensive Q8 e-tron SUV since the start of this decade? That's easy. Firstly, demand in Europe was through the roof and supply could not keep up. And secondly, Audi wisely waited for a Q4 e-tron update that ushered in a raft of changes to make its most important EV ever more competitive in this tough market. These include efficiency gains leading to more range thanks to an upgraded motor and battery, stronger performance, faster charging, retuned steering, comfier suspension, and improved safety. Not that you'd be able to spot any differences by just looking at it. Now, probably the most revolutionary part of the Q4 e-tron is its breakaway styling. It looks like no Audi ever has before. Not! Actually, it's still a handsome car, but yeah, it's got a blanked out grille, but the 4 rings and the single frame thing that they've been using for 25 years. The general profile proportions, very handsome, very crisp, very clean, and clearly an Audi. While out back, I challenge you to pick a Q4 from a Q6, a Q8, the future Q10, Q12, whatever, the QT, because frankly, it looks like every other Audi. That's not to say it's a bad thing, it's just another clean, stylish, if somewhat anonymous looking Audi. However, the interior, well, that's where things get interesting because Audi stylists will let loose a bit more. So jump inside and check it out. Unlike most of its German competitors and even the Volvo EX40, the Q4 is built on a dedicated EV platform shared with other Volkswagen Group products, and that's known as the MEB. The reason why I tell you this now is because the interior is quite small for a medium-sized SUV in terms of width. It's a little bit narrower than you might expect. However, you get heaps of space, front and back. And it has all the practicality and convenience features like cup holders, lots of storage, deep door pockets, and even a place for you to place a bottle where you don't expect it, just forward of the front door opening. Audi interiors are always great, and this certainly subscribes to that methodology in that it's got beautiful angles, lovely materials, and it just feels premium. And I mean, that's what luxury buyers want. Now, I'm not saying that it's bereft of plastics and that sort of thing, because, you know, it's the modern world and lightness is important in an EV, but I think Audi has really executed this interior to be on brand, yet on the mark in terms of efficiency. Here's something interesting. Even though this is the SUV version of the Q4 e-tron, apparently the Sportback, which is swoopier and slightly small overall, has more cargo capacity. I'm not sure why. There's some sort of like mystic stuff going on there. However, both of these lack what I think is essential in an SUV in Australia, regardless of its electrification or not, and that is a spare wheel. There's no spare wheel, just a tyre mobility kit. Boo! Anyway, let's go around the front and I'll show you what's under the bonnet. Unlike the Tesla Model Y, there's no storage up front because I'm not sure why. I think all the auxiliaries are here. Anyway, Audi has traditionally made front-wheel drive cars, of course, but the electric motor sits on the rear axle, driving the rear wheels of the rear-wheel drive one, while a small electric motor is fitted down there, actually somewhere, to drive the front wheels in the all-wheel drive version. The original Volkswagen Beetle also had a motor over the rear axle, so the more things change. Anyway, here are the facts and figures of the powertrain right now. No slouch, that recently updated electric motor enables the 45 to reach 100 kilometers an hour in a rapid 6.7 seconds, while the 55 Quattro's extra motor located over the front axle only chimes in when extra traction is required, shaving another 1.3 seconds off that time. Adding a bit more driver involvement, the 55 Quattros have variable ratio steering, while McPherson-style struts up front and a 4-link independent rear suspension setup out back help keep everything under control. So what's the Q4 e-tron like from behind the wheel? Let's find out. Audi might be late to the affordable EV SUV party, but I think it's been worth the wait because this car drives exactly how you would expect an Audi to drive. Competent, if slightly unexciting in the base 45 rear-wheel drive guys, like what I'm in now. This car's got ample power. Like you put your foot down, it goes, it's smooth, it's strong, it feels muscular. The steering is a little bit light, but it does come with a configurable mode, so you can certainly have a more dynamic feel if you want. And the ride is comfortable enough. Now, all the cars that we've driven are just on regular steel springs, so there's no air suspension or something or anything like that, but this is a 19-inch wheel model and it's comfortable enough. I like the balance, I like the handling, and it feels fairly light and agile for an electric SUV. And there's not that much road noise coming through either. It's not super quiet because no German car seems to cope with our coarse chip bitumen in terms of road noise intrusion, but it's comfortable. It's certainly refined enough. Meanwhile, the 55 Quattro e-tron version is a different proposition. That's a lot more powerful because that's got 2 electric motors and it feels like a grand touring SUV. It's got very strong acceleration. It overtakes effortlessly, and it just feels always amply powerful. It's a good thing. On the flip side, you do feel that extra weight of the second electric motor, and so it doesn't quite have the agility and alacrity of the standard 45 rear-wheel drive, but it's still pretty good. Look, I would say it's a driver's SUV in that you do feel like this thing has excellent road holding and it goes exactly where you point it to, but it's just not very involving, like in terms of you don't feel that connected to the driving experience. That's no bad thing. It's it's an Audi after all, and it's certainly no worse than many other luxury SUVs, but it's not quite, BMW sharp, for instance. But the only other thing I want to say is the driver assist safety systems are very intuitive and well moderated for our conditions. But I wish that this car had slightly stronger single pedal braking. So you do get several levels that you can control with these paddle shifters, but it isn't quite like full braking stop like you get in some other EVs. But other than that, it's a very competent and enjoyable, refined and comfortable driving experience, even the ones on the larger wheel and tyre packages. It's a very well-rounded dynamic proposition. Now, driving most of the available versions, we average between 17.5 and 19.5 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometres, with the rear-wheel drive being the most economical of the two drivetrains. Help me! Built on a 400-volt architecture, the Q4 e-tron uses an 82 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery pack. Curiously, despite weighing around the same, the Sportback uses around half a kilowatt-hour per 100 kilometres less electricity than the SUV version due to better aerodynamics. That translates to about 15 kilometres of extra distance, with the 45 e-tron Sportback going the furthest, delivering a WLTP range of 540 kilometres. That's not bad for a 2-tonne, 5-seater family SUV, but does the Audi go the distance in terms of safety? Tested back in 2021, the Q4 e-tron managed a 5-star ANCAP crash test rating and possesses most of the driver assist safety systems expected nowadays in this class of car, including automatic emergency braking, lane keep assist, rear cross traffic alert and blind spot warnings. All outboard occupants also enjoy full airbag coverage. You'll find more about safety in my written review at carsguide.com.au. Here's something unexpected. Thank you, Sarah. A German car company actually following up on its words with actions. Voice over me will explain it to you right now. Thank you. Audi's warranty does remain the same as before, meaning 5 years with unlimited kilometres and service intervals that are every 2 years or 30,000 Ks. Nothing very special there, but the Q4 e-tron owner can also buy a 6-year service plan for a total of $2,050, gains 12 months of free electricity at ChargeFox stations, and purchase a JetCharge home installation charger from around $800. The brand from Ingolstadt is not messing around here. So, has a Q4 e-tron been worth the wait? Like I said at the beginning of this video, Audi has only made 3 rear-wheel drive vehicles in its 116-year history. And I've got to say, on first acquaintance, driving the Q4 e-tron, some of their brilliance has rubbed off on this. I think it's a very competitive and compelling EV medium SUV. We're just glad that Audi Australia waited for it to be absolutely right. Don't forget, you can read the full review at carsguide.com.au, and as always, thanks for watching.